Hi traders, this is Cynthia of Day Trade Forex, and in this video I'd like to explain to you two new indicators that are in the Fusion Advanced template, and both of them are not in the basic template. However, they're both in the extra advanced template. The first one we want to take a look at is the MACD. This is my multi-time frame zero lag MACD. And in the basic template you have only the 4-hour trend line, which is this yellow trend line here. But in the advanced template I've added the daily trend line. And in the basic template you were taught that when the yellow 4-hour trend line is above the purple baseline, then that signifies that the trend is up, and you should be looking for and taking only buy trades. And in the advanced system, because I've added the daily orange trend line, now we have an extra way to see what the even higher time frame is. And we know that the 4-hour time frame is going to change more often, but the daily time frame is more stable and should always be considered our main trend. And unless you're scalping in very fast charts like 1 minute, 5 minute, or even 15 minute, if you're trading in 15 minute all the way up to 1 hour, you should definitely take into consideration what the daily trend is, because it's going to give you a more stable entry and more stable results, better results if you're trading not just with the 4-hour trend, but also with the daily trend. So in the advanced system, you do get the 4-hour yellow trend line as well as the daily orange trend line. And the way it works is that if both of these trend lines are on the same side of the purple baseline, that means the trend is up. And we want to see the multi-time frame zero lag MACD have both the 4-hour and the orange trend line on the same side of the purple baseline. So for uptrend they would both be above the purple baseline. For a downtrend they should both be below the purple baseline. This happened to be yesterday, and this is the 5 p.m. Eastern period separator. And this happens to be today, and we can see that today was a range day compared to yesterday, which was a trending day. And that happens very often, where you have a trending day and then the next day will be a range day. And that is consistently a truth when it comes to Forex trading. However, like anything, it's not 100% true, but it's true a lot of the time, most of the time. And we can see that it's a range day because the three colored Bollinger Band trend lines are very tight together, and also we have a lot of white X's which show you consolidation. But if we look in the bottom window, which is the multi-time frame zero lag MACD indicator window, we can see that the daily orange trend line is above the purple baseline, and the 4-hour yellow trend line is below the purple baseline, and that means that they're not in agreement. And the thing about Forex trading is you're always going to get better results if you trade with the direction of the major trend, which is the 4-hour and daily. And so you can see that at 5 p.m. Eastern yesterday, the 4-hour yellow trend line crossed below the purple baseline, and that meant that the new trading day starting after 5 p.m. Eastern, which is the Asian session or Tokyo session, we were going to be seeing not a clear trend in this chart, which happens to be the pound US dollar in a 30-minute chart. So you can expect ahead of time, even before 5 p.m. Well, you can see that the candles have turned down slightly, and you can just know that going into the next trading day you're going to have no agreement between the daily trend and the 4-hour trend. So that should tell you ahead of time that that's not going to be a day that you want to be trading this particular pair. And that's true for any of the currency pairs, but more especially true for the trading pairs that have a high ADR, which is an average daily range. And the pound US dollar, which we're looking at, has an average daily range of 82 pips spread out over 10 days. And today so far we've only had 54 pips. And so this trading day, it just shows you in so many ways, even ahead of time using the MACD, that today was going to be a range day compared to yesterday, which was a trending day. So that's how you would interpret and use the bottom window MACD multi-time frame indicator. Now, the next indicator that's completely new to the trading system and is not in the basic system but is in the advanced and extra advanced system is my Cci Indicator, which I've adapted to be compatible with my colored candles and everything that is color coordinated. I've adapted it for the Cci Indicator, and that includes trend and momentum. So I have this window enlarged here so that I can show you a little easier how the Cci Indicator works with the colored candles and the colored Bollinger Band trend lines, and also with the multi-time frame MACD, because they all work together. The indicators all work together. They should never be used separately. You have to look at each window before you make a trade decision. So we're going to assume that we were in front of our computer and we saw that in this chart, the major long trend, which is the gold Bollinger Band trend line, the candles are all above it, so that tells you that the major trend is up. And this medium blue Bollinger Band trend line is also showing that all the candles, all the price action is above the medium term trend line also. Now the Cci window is very important. This is your trend and momentum indicator, which is a cross between a MACD and RSI. So we have the histogram for the bars, the trend bars, just like we would have a histogram for a MACD indicator. And then the yellow line is my momentum line, and I call that the trigger line because there is a rule to using the yellow trigger line. And the rule is that if you're going to be buying, then the yellow trigger line needs to be above this dashed white line, which happens to be the 100 level. So that's a typical Cci setting, and it's just that I've color coordinated everything to make it easy at a glance for you to see. And so that would have been the perfect buy entry, because everything in the top 3 windows are agreeing. And then the last thing you would look at, but probably the most important thing, is that the MACD shows that the 4-hour trend and the daily trend are both on the same side of the purple baseline and showing an uptrend. And the MACD indicator, a leading indicator. There are very few leading indicators for Forex trading, for any kind of trading. Fibonacci is one, and my custom-made multi-time frame zero lag MACD indicator is another leading indicator. So it's a very interesting and a very important indicator, and you can see that if you drop the vertical line in to your potential trade setup, then you can check out all the windows very simply, very easily, and have confidence that you're entering a trade at the most opportune moment. You have trend on your side, you have momentum on your side, and because the system specializes in pullbacks or retracements, then when we got the little blue arrow We also got the pop-up audio alert to tell us that there's a potential setup for a buy entry, and sure enough, after dropping the green vertical line in, you can see at a glance that everything's perfect. Even if you didn't drop the vertical green line in, your eye would become so trained with more use of the system, you can see at a glance, because you just would look up and down and you can see at a glance that this is the perfect entry. The next day, everything is in range, and you already know you're not even going to be paying any attention to the pound US dollar chart, because you can see that the daily and the 4-hour trends are on the different sides of the purple baseline. So even if you did have this chart open and you got pop-up audio alerts, you would just ignore them. So I hope that gives you an overall explanation of how to use the new Cci indicator, and included in the MACD for the advanced system is the daily MACD trend line. And now you can see how everything works together and really how simple it is, and the more you use it, the more you'll find that it's just giving you the most perfect buy and sell setups with the pop-up audio alert. And in my other videos I show you how to take profit at the Fibonacci levels, which are support, the Fibonacci pivot blue line, and resistance. So we always take profit or partial profit at the Fibonacci. In another training video I'm going to go more into how to use the trade button. And so if you're watching this video now and you've already purchased, this is your training for the CCI and the daily MACD. And if you haven't purchased the advanced system yet and you've only purchased the basic system, then I hope you can appreciate that the Cci indicator is a great improvement to the trading system, because it gives you momentum and trend at a glance. And then of course the addition of the daily trend line in the MACD. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in another video.